lexicon, but Shinola is now a Detroit-based company started by the founder of Fossil. They make vintage products, watches, bikes, and leather goods. And as you know, I'm a watch guy, and this is a kind of a retro-styled, beautiful watch, very high-quality watch. These are kind of in the low luxury price range, $500 to $600 and up. And this is the Father's Day edition here. You can see that the box is beautiful. It's got the branding inside. The as soon as you open it, a Shinola logo and this construction paper Shinola to greet you. And then here is the kind of the Shinola iconic wooden box that's made in Minnesota by a company up there that does woodworking. It is laser etched with the Shinola logo on it. And it's a handwritten note here from our friends at Shinola. And since I ordered it, it says, Peter, thank you. It doesn't say Von Panda though. We hope you enjoy your watch, your friends at Shinola. So that is really cool. A really cool custom touch that shows that people are making these in Detroit. And I won't go into a whole lot of the detail about the history of the company, but the watches themselves come in two sizes, 40 millimeter and a 47 millimeter. I have the 47. A 40 millimeter in today's standard is a very small watch actually, and I don't wear anything smaller than a 44. I actually have a 43.5 millimeter watch, and that's as small as I'll really go on a watch that I'll wear. And 50 millimeter is kind of the largest I wear, so 47 is really in the sweet spot, I think. It comes with this tissue paper wrapping, it's kind of like opening a Nordstrom's box, and a Shinola sticker, and I'm going to actually be really careful about trying to preserve as much of this as possible. So I'm going to put this down and see if I can let you watch me do this. I'm going to just slide the box out here sideways, and actually it's tissue paper, but it's actually wrapped around a cardboard lining. So very, very cool. I mean, this is totally the Apple product of watch packaging. And the watch box here, and I believe it's magnetically sealed here. So a really cool box. It's got some squishy styrofoam in here. And here is the watch itself. And this is the Runwell 47 millimeter. The really cool thing about this box is they have done a lot of stuff to incorporate kind of that Shinola history. So you get this little tiny, it's about the size of a dollar coin, and I think this is really to emulate the Shinola shoe polish that I was stumbling to try to explain. It says leather care balm, so I'm sure this is just like a little bit of a wax that you can put onto the watch leather. It's probably unnecessary, but it's a great way to integrate kind of the look of the Shinola shoe polish into the product as well. And I'll give you my first thoughts on the watch. Again, kind of retro-styled leather band. Some of these watch bands I know come from Horween leather in Chicago. I don't know if this watch band actually does. I know on the limited edition it definitely is. But this is a tan leather watch band. It tapers from 24 millimeters up here. I'm trying to focus in on that. To I think 22 millimeters, and even the buckle on this watch should have I think would have Shinola branding, and there it is. It's a little hard to see. I'm trying to pry it up, but underneath has that Shinola orange lightning bolt, which is their kind of logo for quality, and you can see it right on the front of the face. This is a really nice watch. I'm not going to pull the plastic off quite yet. A very rounded case. This is the polished, essentially chrome-looking case. The crown also has that Shinola lightning bolt logo on it. This is a quartz movement. It's a Ronda. As you can see, they labeled their movement the Argonite 1069. This is the Ronda 1069 caliber movement in here, but it's hand assembled in their factory in Detroit. The parts come from Ronda, the Swiss manufacturer. The cool thing to think about this is that Argonite is a reference to the Argonaut building that they are based in, which used to be the old GM Design Center. So a lot of automotive history overlap here, and I think really a nice tribute to Detroit to kind of integrate some of the terminology that's really quintessential for Detroit. Nice weight. Obviously got the piece in here that's holding the shape, but this leather strap is actually pretty thick, at least a couple millimeters, maybe 3 millimeters thick. It's kind of got a nice off-white stitching. In my personal opinion, I kind of like when the band is the same width all the way around, so a 24 millimeter band from top to bottom. And I'm not a huge fan of kind of the padded leather with the stitching. I prefer kind of the glued band where it doesn't have any stitching, because I think it makes the band look a little narrower, and I kind of like that, the larger, beefier look. But this is really a beautiful watch. This is the white face. A lot of money or a lot of value in this watch, even at $600. One of the things I can tell you is that a lot of people say, "Wow, why would you pay that much for a quartz watch?" And I would say a couple things here that I'll point out. If I had my Tag Heuer Formula One Professional pulled out and I could put it side by side, the Tag Heuer is just a little bit smaller, about 44 millimeter case. It's obviously a different watch. It's a diver's watch, but that watch is also quartz. It only has one subdial, which is the remote second hand here, just like the Shinola. It has luminescent hands as well, just like this one. But it is retail over $1,000. So again, a quartz watch in a similar kind of range in terms of kind of an apples to apples comparison, but you know, that's an $1,100 to $1,300 watch, I think, from places, whereas this is half the price. So I think you could argue that there's a lot of value here. And then secondly, what also sets this apart from a lot of the designer brand watches is that I believe every Shinola watch comes with a sapphire crystal. And in fact, you can see they call it a double curve, but I think we'd call it just a domed crystal. Yeah, I'm trying to focus in on that. But the crystal is slightly domed, which is nice, and that's particularly to get a sapphire crystal in a watch is pretty rare. They're definitely more expensive, and so again, that's a nice piece. A lot of luxury elements that you wouldn't necessarily find in a watch at this price point. Are you paying a little bit of a premium for the made in Detroit or the assembled or built in Detroit? Absolutely. And in fact, you know, if this watch itself were manufactured somewhere like China or kind of a really inexpensive labor area, you'd certainly probably be able to save some money, but you wouldn't be able to say built in Detroit. And as a native of Detroit, I'm really super stoked to buy a product. I'll slip this out and just take a look at the back, because I think, in my opinion, the back is even more beautiful than the front, and it's hard to get a little bit of a peek there without the glare. But this is the 120. I'm not going to serial number 120 on this one, and I really like how they have a little bit of the sandblasted stainless steel look contrasting on that inner ring, contrasting with the polish of on the outside, and there it says sapphire crystal. Just really a beautiful watch. Fortunately, this one is not staying in my collection. The one I ordered for myself is not here yet, but I'm seriously looking forward to getting mine. The other thing I'll just point out here, which I like, especially on these bigger watches, and this is kind of a vintage watch thing, but the mounting points for the band do bend down a little bit, especially when you get into larger watches like this. Sometimes the posts stick straight out from the watch, and especially on smaller wrists, that kind of makes the watch fit a little bit unevenly. And so to have the band actually mount on the watch just a little bit below the bottom line of the case is kind of nice, because it'll actually give you a nice fit around your round wrist. So very, very cool. I am super stoked about getting my Shinola. This is the Father's Day edition, so I think I'm one of the few people that have the watches in hand yet. But I would definitely check it out at Shinola.com, also sold through Barneys.com. These watches are pretty much sold out all over just because of the excitement and kind of the fury to get these, and they're very low production right now, but there should be many more coming. I'll tell you this, I am super stoked. I hear rumors that Shinola is going to come out with a chronograph. That definitely is, I think, a bit more my style. And so as soon as they do that, I am going to be the first one in line to get a Shinola chronograph. So let me know if you have questions. Check it out, and I appreciate you sharing this magical moment with me, looking at one of the first Shinola watches to come out of Detroit. Peter Von Panda, out.